How we doing, everyone? Um, my name's Isaiah Thousand. My name was Isaiah Williams until I changed it a couple years ago. I'm just here to tell you about my story, and if it can help anybody during a time of need like this, then it needs to be said. Because I know what it's like out there in the world, because I was raised by a black father and a white mom. Kindergarten to fourth grade, my life was, it was like everything you wanted from what you would want in a childhood. After I graduated fourth grade, my family, mom and dad had a fight. My brother and I were playing PS2, and my mom calls my name. She says, Isaiah, she's crying. I go in there, and they're just arguing. My mom's crying. She's telling me to tell my dad to leave. And I'm just frozen. I don't know what to say. That's my best friend. I think that's my other half of me. He ends up taking the bag. He waves his hand. He just leaves, shuts the door. And I was trying to talk to him, saying, Dad, where are you going? And yeah, he left. And fifth or sixth grade, I didn't see him. It took me in school acting out because I wanted to see him. So I was with Mrs. McKnight, my sixth grade teacher, and I started cutting the desk with scissors after I'd gotten in trouble. Not going to hurt anybody. I just was just like, she was like, what's wrong? And I broke down crying, and I told her I want to see my dad. I want to see him. I don't know what I did for him to leave. So we go over to his mom's house New Year's Eve, and we see him walk up the stairs.
Here,
We see him walk up the stairs. My brother and I grab both of his legs. Then we go into his old room and we play college basketball. After we saw him, here and there again, when it got to 7th grade, we saw him for the last time. Something happened at work. He got fired, and my mom told us he didn't want to see us anymore because he didn't have any money. He felt like he couldn't be around us. If you know me, that's not the type of person that I am. So, I get into 8th grade, and we were texting about Rakeem Christmas. He had just committed to Syracuse, and after we were done talking, it came to a point where I was just like, when can I see you again? And he says, soon. I'm very proud of you.
take your time.
I text back, why? Then he says, nothing. Those were the last words that he said. because then he passed away December 31st, and we were supposed to see him 3 days later. He was gonna come home, and my mom said he was changing his life around. And so I've been traveling since 5th grade without having my number one supporter with me. Through all this, I shouldn't be where I'm about to even be, honestly. Like, if it wasn't for God and everything, I don't know. I really don't know. So 9th grade though happens. I get to try out for varsity. I got cut, but I got to try out for varsity because every game that I played on at a team camp at Lemoyne, we won every game. We won the championship, and Coach McKinney said that he could not ignore that fact when evaluating the process. So me and Dom got to try out. I got cut. Dom got cut too. I wasn't expecting, that was some big steps to even be able to try out. We already had 3 dudes who went Division 1. So I got to play JV, and each time that I'm getting moved up within JV, Coach McKinney, when it comes to certain people, all he would say is that I can't remember any plays. I have a learning disability. It just takes me a little bit to process certain things. Once I get to knowing stuff, then I'm okay. For that to keep coming out though, every single time we would talk, that really I'm already emotional. You already heard what I've been going through. I work hard, and I wanted us to win. It was never about playing time. I wanted to just be treated fairly, and for that excuse, did a number on me. I would go home and tell my mom. He said I gotta start remembering stuff. We don't even run plays. My career, I got to play 1 through 5. If you go back, watch the videos. Junior year is when we brought it to an attention to the board and everything. Because it got even worse. He was telling me I wouldn't be able to go to college if I didn't remember things. And that irked me. It really did. We're running out there playing basketball. I knew the plays. But when you have a learning disability, I guess that anybody, 1 through 5 it's a lot to ask. So I'm in class, junior year, still junior year of high school, and I get a text from Mitch Howe saying I've been blacklisted from OCC. I cannot go there anymore. I was going to OCC because it was close to home. I want to succeed, and I want to see my mom. Does anyone? She works 2 jobs since 5th grade. We didn't get to see her 5th to 9th grade like that. I had to hold him. Even talking about feelings, it's hard. You think growing up, it's oh, don't be emotional. Put up walls if you get hurt and stuff, but we gotta be able to talk about these things. And people have to be able to listen. But I got a text from him saying, that I've been blacklisted. And my mom had, I had it. That's personal. Like, black people, you want to go to school, you want to play basketball, especially if you play sports. That's like I couldn't go there anymore. So we go back and forth with each other after the season. Like, I didn't even want to play the JV or the championship game in the Dome against Ludden. Everybody's saying, yo, play, you're bailing on us. I got blacklisted. You want me to play for a coach that just ran his mouth to even probably more coaches at a dinner. Alice Kendrick, the superintendent, wrote a letter to clear my name so I could go to school there. But if you're black, you already know. Just for me saying this, why would I go there? Especially, that was with Paziak at the time. All that stuff. Like, I physically couldn't go there anymore. But I did not want to play. Like, I didn't want to play, but I played anyways. They said, just play for yourself. And that's not what basketball was for me growing up. My dad and I, brother, mom, watched college basketball with each other all the time. I watched Plattsburgh to see every game that I could. I want to be a coach someday. I could tell you the scouting report for the players. That just because I enjoyed them, nothing bad or anything. Like, I enjoyed watching the team, and I want to be a part of this team. But after the game, all this happened. He didn't let me play Summer League. Everybody's asking where I am. Nobody's standing up for me. I got people on the team, I've been to all of their houses. They're not even asking me why. Physically, hearing my story, why aren't you playing, Isaiah? Like, we need you. They're telling me that they need me, but they don't even want to listen to this racist thing that went on that I'm going to get more into about. Like, you just want to, I don't know. I don't know why nobody wanted to physically sit down and ask me. It's probably the families. Like, nah, it's not an excuse. Like, this day and age in this new world, if you want to stand up for something, especially now, you gotta speak up and raise your voice. So the summer, I didn't play at all. We're fighting to play. I get to play, or my dad brought me to the SU basketball camp. When I was in like 4th grade, I started going, and I would go every year. And Jimmy and Mr. Bayarm, they would help out and pay for me to go and play for like a week. I took it personal. My last year, I got to do it, and this year, going into JD, I won the MVP trophy of SU basketball camp. And I had bet on All-Stars and all of that. That's not the clout or anything. That's in the past. I'm focused on the future of what I want to do with Plattsburgh. But we told them all the stuff I was doing during the summer because I couldn't go to any camps with the team or anything. Like, I tried to be a part of them. He didn't want me to play. So it all gets we squash it out, we hug. And if it goes longer, then it's fine.
Just keep going.
We squash it out, we hug, we put our differences aside. Going to the new year at JD. My senior year. Man, I had a good year, but playing basketball, it's almost like I'm playing for myself. Like, everybody just wants to score. They just want to score. they don't want to really do anything else, and that, I don't know, to me basketball is not just about scoring. That's, you gotta be able to do other things. So we go through the whole year, and we get to the sectional championship game. That week, we're in practice. Darvin gets moved up to our team along with Buddy Boeheim. And we're in practice. And Dom gets mad at Darvin because Darvin's on Dom's team. We're scrimmaging, and he just didn't pass him the ball a couple times, and he got mad. That boiled up to where a couple days later in practice, he doesn't pass it to him again. He doesn't pass it to him again, and they start arguing with each other. And Dom tells him to shut up, you stupid nigga, in the practice room while we're playing. The whole gym went silent. Coach said, we all looked at Coach, and he just said, he kept playing, like, keep playing. Darvin tells him he's gonna get his brother on you, and, like, that's real. Like, what's going on outside, what happened to George Floyd's brother, or to George Floyd, correction, that's, like, me messing up saying that, that's, for him to lose his big brother especially, like, that's terrible. Like, every day in this world, when this is gonna keep going on, but even if we get past it, he's gonna always remember that, like, that, especially the good people, shouldn't die and all this stuff. But when practice ended, and I get in the car with Adrian, and I tell my mom. Not my mom goes and tells da-da-da, and it starts with no. I did. Because I felt Dom's paid for me, Dom's helped me. But I felt for Darvin. Like, I didn't even know how to feel when I got in the car. So I told my mom he said the N-word. Like, he didn't say ER. But at what point do we ask ourselves, does that even fucking matter? Pardon my language. You know, some white people want to be black. When it really becomes time to be black, they don't want to be that. Like, even, I don't care if he didn't say the ER, like, it's a sophomore. Like, yeah, Dom had played varsity 3 years. Just because he doesn't pass you the ball, because you have to call him, like, even if it slips, like, we're talking about when Drew Brees came out and said that, like, just that thing about the national anthem, people were down his neck, like, so to say that, I didn't know how to feel, like, I didn't, and the Drew Brees thing, like, I'm not saying I'm with Drew Brees at all, like, I'm just giving you an example. So, wow. Yeah, so that's what really happened. My mom and I wanted to call Mr. Dowdell. So I tell him what happens. And like in the school year, well, I was sick and I was on medicine and stuff. Like, I understood it that I couldn't sit on the bench, like, I guess, but other people were sick, they got to sit on the bench. I don't understand, like, I didn't understand. I had a doctor's note. They told me I had to sit in the stands. Like, Goodson told me I had to sit in the stands. I couldn't even support my team. Like, so for Dom got suspended, but Dom was allowed on the bus and he got to sit there. And people protested, wearing 5, saying he should play. They said that he didn't mean it. That's a sectional championship game against our rival, CBA. His last game. We get that. But you said someone that's younger than you. You can't do that. And it's the way you said it. You said it like violently. Like, I'm not that, like, violently. They were about to fight. And that is what had happened. He sat on the bench, and I mean, this is a TV game. That's a whole race issue. Like, it wasn't even just the white kids were wearing 5. Not all of them. The students. This is on TV 5 years ago. I speak up now because to this day, my name is still talked down on. And before I get into that, after the game, I don't know, I just didn't feel like this was a family. Like, I had played a game that I had just played junior year, basically. Like, even, I played for the whole year. Like, meaning, like, there was no love for anybody. Like, at the end of the day, those weren't my friends. Those were my friends on my team, basketball. But, like, right now, like, there's people I could talk to, but, like, we don't talk how I feel like a family should talk, especially in sports, especially now. Like, think about your lowest moments in life. Like, what's the one thing you want when you're low? You want to be happy. Like, to have the people that I had around me, that's why I'm here to this day. Every single person that's helped me, good or bad, that's why I'm here. That's why it took so long to say things, because if I would have came out and said this, like, you guys would have to understand how I was growing up as a kid. I needed to go to school. I'm the first one in my family to graduate. I'm the first one to, I'm trying to get a master's degree and get to play basketball. Like, when I say to live another day, to be around another day, I should not really be in this situation. But after the game, I took my jersey. I gave them my white jersey, but I took home my jersey, and I got a plaque, first team, to show my dad. Like, I know the type of player that I am. I really do. So, when I made my decision to go to Keuka, I had Albion was there. That's where my dad was from, Michigan. But it was a money thing, I couldn't go there. Wells College, would have went there, but they didn't have what HEOP had, which was, or QCA had HEOP. That helped me out financially. Basketball became, I had to be something else other than basketball. Like, basketball didn't get me to go, I didn't have the right people in that aspect either that a lot of people do have. So I go to QCA, Casey was there, and Casey is the reason why his son is gonna be okay in this world. Casey stood up for me. I know he tried to. Whether he said good things or bad things, or told them the truth, Casey has a voice, and he supported me. I wanted to be somewhere safe, after all this happened. Coach Phillips had seen me hit a game-winning shot at Gym Rats, gave me his whole card. I felt, and I went to their prospect camp when Coach Matthews was there too. I felt like this could be another home. But yeah, Casey, I think Casey, definitely. That's, you can even think about how many friends you're with Casey. I know who doesn't like me just because of all this. But this is a lot for people, even for me to even, if I go through even more stuff that I'm going to tell you about. That's how I'm able to say this stuff, though. Back then, I definitely couldn't be able to do this. I was scared. If I had my dad, though, none of this happens. None of it does. Damn, T. So, I go to QCA my freshman year. I played. I didn't get a lot of playing time, but I took the year off sophomore year. Just to grades and stuff. I had been traveling since 5th grade. Basketball, people paying for me. I wanted to just see what it was like to not have basketball in my life. Try different things. I get to try out junior year. Again, because I missed it just going through. And I make the team. And this time was different, though. Stuff I've been telling you, I never had to worry about ever making a team. So people who have tried out before, I was now in their shoes. That's a scary thing. Because you really don't know. You never know. You could get in trouble in school, for example, and then they don't want you. Right. So, I made the team. And we had a good year. We made the playoffs. I played here and there, not really that much at all. Playing time, I'm not gonna lie, it was talked about during my time there. We all want to win. So, QCA senior year, we get there. I had a good summer and everything. And this is kind of... Alright, so I hurt my finger for the second time. I jammed it before tryouts. Coach, I guess, was a little mad. He thought I didn't want to do conditioning. So he told me that I'm third string or whatever. I wasn't even supposed to play. I came back early. Because I was just kind of tired of him saying that I did not want to play when I was busting my butt all summer. I have been. I wanted to play, but the doctor, I'm a point guard. Your pinky? Okay, maybe I probably could have did some things. It's my middle finger and I'm a righty. 50% of my hand. I can't do it. You just can't do anything. And it's the second time. So I ended up getting to get back to practicing, whatever. We get to play. I get to play like 8 games. And during Christmas, my dad passed away December 31st. The struggle's hard for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That day is hard, and it just hit me harder because it's like I'm about to graduate and then maybe get a master's, maybe not, who knows? And he's just not here. Like, it stinks. So I text coach and I tell him I'm not gonna be at practice. Or I may be a little late just because I'm just dealing with stuff at home, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I tell him that, text him. He said it was like he wanted to know what was going on, but I left it because I told him I was going to see him tomorrow. I get up there when we were done with with practice. I had gotten to talk to him when I got there, and after it, he said, "What's going on?" And I just told him I was ready to play basketball. Like, everything's like, I just want to play. Like, January, we don't have any school work. Nothing. You're basically like an NBA player. You just go to the gym and just play. Practice. He says, "What's going on?" And I say, "Coach, I'm okay. I'm just ready to just play basketball. Like, you say to leave the personal stuff out of the gym. Like, that's what I want to do." And he says, "You can either open up to me and talk to me and tell me what's going on, or you can get out and not come back out of the gym." I said, "All right." And I left. I didn't attack him. Like, because I just wanted to play. Like, there's no anger. I just want to play basketball. Like, wow. Basketball is like, I just want to play. So after I went back to the room, Trevor, I told Trevor what happened. A little bit. I didn't get in like too much details because, like, I want to be a coach, so you gotta think that if I'm to say something, it's a distraction. Where's a B? There's a distraction. If I were to come out and if I were to say, what's going on right now, because it gets a lot worse. He texted me, like, wanted to talk or whatever, but I didn't want to go back to that gym. Like, I didn't even want to go back to that school, let alone after that happened. So he gave me like 48-hour notice to tell him, or 24, 48 hour, to tell him if I'm sane or not. And during this time, my grandma's mom was about to pass away. So I had a lot to think about. Like, I had just gotten told not to come back. Like, and I had just put all my love into this basketball. Like, I wanted to have a good season, Trevor's last year, everybody, all my teammates. And I made a choice. I said, family's important. Like, my grandma's been there for me. She and my mom, like, that's where I would stay when I wasn't staying with the Dirigises, the Burnses, like, everybody. Burns has offered to send me to CBA. Like, these people, like, they've helped me along the way. The way I was raised with all of them, all the people's houses that I've been in, family's number one. And I felt that I was no longer needed at Keuka right now. Like, my grandma needed me, so I went home. We had a talk first. I went up to the office. I told him, Coach, I'm going to come back. But, because he had asked me what I decided, but I had to go home, though. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, I have to go home because my grandma, my family needs me. My mom's about to pass away. And he was like, okay. So, do you want to clean out your locker? I looked at him, I was like, I just told you I'm coming back. Like, what do you mean I want to clean out my locker? And he says, well, there'll only be, when we get back from the second semester, there's usually, 8, not that much games left. He was like, yeah, so there's not that much games left. There's no point. And I'm like, alright, I didn't yell or anything. I'm as you can see, I'm beyond hurt. That's, and the assistant coach, which you have already seen in the picture, he's the golf coach. He ran that account. He liked my tweet that I put out because, when I left after that, and he said that, I guess they had a team meeting the next day, and it was to kick me off the team. It was votes. Yes, we want Isaiah. No, we don't want Isaiah. I heard that, and I was like, that's just damn, I didn't even, you want to kick me off for what? So he didn't tell them what really happened, my teammates, during when I left. He never told them. I ended up making a tweet that I just mentioned, to kind of clear. I said what happened, what I'm telling you guys in the tweet. And Coach didn't like that. Trevor had retweeted it, liked it, and he held a grudge towards Trevor. He would, because of me, because of this situation, and it carries back to JD because, before I went here, as you already know, I told you kind of what happened with OCC, with Coach. I got blacklisted from there. Other people getting affected by my actions. I didn't even do anything in this. It's just death. Death's kind of played a big part in this. But I made he didn't talk to Trevor, and he still hasn't talked to Trevor. He hasn't even texted him right now. How are you? Trevor 1,000 points, top 3 in rebounds at Keuka. They named him the hardest working kid, and he got an A in stats and an A in accounting in the same semester. If I'm a coach, when we hear stories about that, when I was younger, about players, he absolutely deserves a "how are you?" He's helping your job, because he's putting in the time, he's trusting your words and everything that you're saying. And this isn't to get anybody, fired or anything, because there's people that think I want to get coaches fired. No, we need to learn better. That's why I'm telling you guys this in the world. So yeah, I ended up deleting my Twitter. I don't have Twitter anymore because I don't need Twitter. That I have kind of what I need. After this all happened, and I mean I thank Trevor too, because like before I get into my next step, you know, Trevor and Matt Burns were the two people that stood up for me. You know, Matt Burns is at a rival school at CBA. Like, a rival stood up for me during the worst times of my life. Like, I mean, even to this day with this. And in the tweet, that was just to clear. I mean, I said some things, like, that basically I wanted Trevor to be a coach just because, like, Trevor, like, to be a coach in this generation, I feel like you just gotta have a little empathy, because like when situations happen, I want to be able to talk to you. The only reason I hadn't talked to Coach was because he would just say okay, like he wouldn't really talk it through with me. Like, you don't need to hold my hand and kiss me, like. But I just like, I mean, I don't have. It just goes back. I don't have a father. Like what it's like to be black, just mixed. Without a father, and I couldn't imagine being like darker if to go through this. Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, what happened at JD? That's how I was able to. So I was able to just, when things got bad, like we look at Kawhi Leonard when he got hurt, and there was people like, hey, like tracking him down, like we want you to play. And he was like, he wasn't ready, or he's like just, you know, whatever it is, to have that like capacity, like that was hard. Like, I don't like letting people down. That, like, those were my teammates. Like we beat Roanoke. Before I get into the other thing, we beat Roanoke our first game, and you know how schools will schedule a team. Roanoke's from VA, they had an All-American. They'll schedule teams, like any college who's good, their first game. We were scheduled first game, we ended up winning by one by 1 point. I got in for like 2 or 3 minutes. I did my move or I did it in and out. I got an and one, and I made the free throw. And he says after to me, that was a big time play. And in my head, though, like, I didn't say this, but in my head I was just like, you've seen me hit a floater in overtime in a Gym Rats tournament. Like, I won the MVP trophy at SU basketball camp, the Jim Bams camp. I got Section 3 all tournament team, Class A. I was first team all league. I averaged 16.3 points per game. I was 50 points away. I scored, it was like 343 points my senior year. 102 points were from the free throw line. And overall, though, the 43, I was 50 points away from Jafar Kinsey. Like, I know what I can do. It's just death has played, like, it's played a big part. Too much of kind of a big part. So I end up with Trevor, like, we end the year. I had one more semester because I spaced out my schedule 4 classes this semester to accommodate so I could pass classes. Like, school's hard for me. And that's why I didn't transfer either. I mean, you know, when you like, if you're to transfer, like, yeah, and you gotta make up. Like, I have a learning disability. Like, it takes a little bit to process things. I was like, you wouldn't want to even retake accounting, like stats. Like, oh nah. Like, so Because, I mean, I went to school. My dad had told me to go to school that I would like. Because if you don't like the coach, told my brother this too, if you don't like the coach, you're stuck there. Like, especially for me, I'm stuck there because, like, of this. Kyuga gave me a good financial situation, so I took the school route first. And I guess this is what happens when you take the school route. Like, to have that to be able to play as a graduate. Like, even if I get to play 1 year, I mean, nothing's guaranteed because this is like quarantine. Like, I mean, I've been able to still play basketball, thankfully, with Matt Purcell, his gym. But yeah, wow, man. Like, this is just a lot. So I guess let me get back on track. So yeah, I graduate, whatever, or I go into my last semester at Kyuka this last fall, and the second week, I didn't. The last couple years at Kyuka, I didn't party or anything. Like, I just kind of knew my priorities. I knew kind of who I wanted my friends and everybody to be in my life. Because, like, in a time like this, that's kind of I mean, a time like this, you really know who's. It's basically, like, I look at it like, we just went through a summer, and now we're going through a whole new summer. Like, people are going to be changed, and if you're not, then, I mean, people are going to notice, and they're not going to fuck with you. Like, they're just not. So I got to go one more semester at Kyuka, the second week, and I walk into the bathroom at like 5 or 6 in the morning, just to go pee, and I hear a shower to the right of me on. I didn't really think anything, like, seriously, like, when you wake up, like, I just thought somebody was showering early. So I go to, like, look after I was done washing my hands, and, like, it was blocked off, so, like, I figured, okay, nothing is, like, someone just showering. But, like, I don't know, like, I'm not, when I tell you this, like, I felt like something was off, though, like, even when I walked in there, felt something just wasn't right. I can't really explain the feeling, like, I don't know, it's just in my stomach, but, like, I was too tired, like, I was ready to go back to sleep. So, I go to breakfast, I see cops outside the room to my neighbors. One's at the bathroom down the hall. I go up, or I go to breakfast, I come back, and they tell us we can't go into my room. And it's blocked off. They don't know when I can go back in. And I'm like, yo, it is 10:30 in the like, I got homework and stuff, like, I mean, the whole 9 yards. Like, I got stuff I have to do. And, they'll just say they'll let us know and we could go back in. Me and my friend go upstairs, and somebody tells us, forgot who his name was, on the 4th floor, but he says that somebody hung themselves in there, in the bathroom. So when I was in there, that feeling I felt, I don't know, I can't, it's just a weird feeling, but I knew, like, oh, someone's not here, like, so I heard that, I couldn't sleep all week, like, that's my neighbor, like, and people were telling me, you didn't really know. Well, like, I worked at a summer camp, like, and I've shared with them my story, and that's gave me confidence to even do this, because it's helped them and can help people. Like, it doesn't matter if I don't know the person. Like, you gotta be able to put yourself in, their shoes. Like, we were going home for October break, almost was like a couple, like, I think it was a little bit away. Like, my dad was coming home 3 days later. Like, even if it's, okay, that's days, that's weeks, we'll all go through different things, but it's all similar. Like, so I felt even his family. And that's all I want to do is put baskets for, like, I just had even more motivation after that, but I felt that, like, they're gonna see their son, like, I don't know. If you have a son, family, like, when you want to see somebody you care about, you get happy. For him to have to go that way, it was hard. One of the hardest things, like, after that, because I had worked hard with Ben over the summer. He had helped me. As I posted on my Instagram, I had gotten to play a kid on the Turkey national team. Ben knows what I can do. We went neck and neck. It's amazing what happens when you're in an environment when people just care about you just the slightest little bit. So after that happened, I couldn't sleep all week, and I went to I was playing in a league, the Billy Burns' league in Rochester, and I was staying in a hotel, for like 2 weeks after, because I couldn't sleep in Cuca's dorm, it was over. So I went to a hotel, stayed there for 2 weeks, and I was working as a front desk person, signing people in, to help pay for the hotel, and Billy Burns asked me to stay because I had called him and told him I wasn't going to play anymore because I had to finish my degree and then, basketball, worry about the other stuff. But for right now, I couldn't play in the league anymore. It was an hour away, I'm an hour away from him, and he offers me to come stay with him at his house with him and his wife. It just felt like I was little kind of all over again, almost. So he offered to let me stay. And how I'm able to, I don't like getting up and, leaving. Even the relationships are hard. That let alone can just mess a kid up, I think. The whole 9 yards that I've been through. So I was staying there with him, and my sectional, something kind of crazy kind of happened. My sectional game against Carthage, they say I had 23 points, and I was 11-11 from the free throw line. If you go back, some people have it. I can still get it if I needed to. But I went back and I watched and I recorded my stats, and I had the full stats. I had 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists, and I was 11-11 from the free throw line. If you guys know Billy Burns' league, the people that play in there, I won Player of the Week. I was just at his house the other day, and he had said, I think that I have the first triple-double in the league history. But I only say that because for his league I had 18 points, 14 assists, 10 rebounds, and pretty sure I did not miss free throw either, but I only say this because I could still play the way I know I can play. Maybe I hate to say this, but if I was white, you'd probably hear about that. The people who also were with me at the Bayheims, the Autries. There's a lot of political stuff that goes into stuff like this. Yeah, so after I graduated, Cuca now, and I was going back and forth for an hour, I had a couple classes to finish. I don't know, I was used to kind of the long drives, got to listen to Jason Derulo, and people, it's not that people that, when I say I listen to Jason Derulo, people would say, you're not black. And I'm like, alright, I'm mixed, so half and half. But like Jason Derulo, just because he doesn't sing or like do drugs like constantly, that's so I have to be black. I have to like somebody like that. Like it's just be your own person. If you want to like somebody, you can like somebody. You can like whoever you want, as long as it makes you happy. That's all that matters. But yeah, Jason's music helped me get through a lot too. That like when my parents had split up, like, and I don't know, I look at basketball. Even if you look in music, if you were to go back and listen to Jason Derulo, this is the only thing I'll add because I could go all day about my dude. Like Jason Derulo, if you were to go back to listen to his younger stuff, you'd be able to see he can do like pretty much like any type of song. But besides that part, I ended up finding a new home in the process, and there was a kid on a team that was affected though, like this season. He played a lot his first year, and he didn't play his second year, and because of my tweet I put out, coach brought it up and said he had a grudge towards this player. And when they spoke about it, the kid just spoke up to me. I'm not gonna put words like in his mouth. If he wants to add, he can add to it. But he just was sticking up for me. Like, but for me, like, he shouldn't have a grudge. Like you see, like from JD to Cuca, kind of carried. It kind of carried its way. Like coach is still talking down on me, and that happened this year. And like even when I tried to leave Cuca, I called coach, tried to talk to him because Ben told me to do that, and coach didn't answer. He didn't call me back. Still didn't call me back. To get my release form, I had to do it on my own and go talk to the AD. Like I even went to try to talk to him, and he would see me around campus before I left, try to wave. Like, are you kidding? Like, are you kidding me? And because of my learning disability, people thought I was dumb. Like they would laugh at me. Like nobody told me that I could get a master's. Like, cause growing up, especially to be black, if you hear the word master's, like you think of white families who are rich. Like it's crazy. But yeah, he got affected. So this is like, I just want this to end. I want my name to be cleared. Like this is everything that happened. I was never like bad to any of these people. Like I've been missing a father. Like if people who are black, like I mean, we know, like especially you don't have a father, like it's just hard. And I if I have my dad, like I don't go through any of this. My dad was 6'4", like nobody was trying to mess with him. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I just want my name to be cleared and not have to worry about this, because going through all this, this is what's like why I did this also. If I get cut or anything, like because of this, I'm going Plattsburgh, like I don't know, they're my family. I want them to be honest. Like a master's degree, if I'm gonna get my master's, people need to know who I am, my whole story. Like before I walk in, because he needs to know I'm and even my soon-to-be teammates, they need to know I'm not trying to get them. Like I want to have a friendship after. I want to be able to help you guys. I'm not a coach killer. There's just, because like a lot of this happened to me, and I was just a little bit of black. Like it's really crazy. Like, cause after this cops is over, 40 days of protesting, racism is gonna go on for a little bit. Like, it's not over. Racism is a lot of history. A lot of history. And what's next is what I kind of just explained to you. When you see certain things, like, that's a sectional championship game on television. Like, in a community, like, that's... Yeah, that's just, wow. Over the N-word. Like, and there's some black people, like, when they hear the N-word... This is a little long. Is it okay, you think, though? Yeah, I got it. I'm just gonna keep going. When a black person hears the N-word, like, for example, there was something at Keuka. Like, at Keuka College, I haven't added, there's Confederate flags people have outside their houses. Like, can you imagine if something happens during this year? That's very scary for me. I don't even want to think. Like, I don't. But an alumni said the N-word over Snapchat, Trevor. He told Coach about it. And Trevor just wanted him to talk to him, just take it down. Like, I didn't feel comfortable saying that. Or he didn't feel comfortable with him saying that. And Coach didn't really talk to him. I mean, if he talked to him, he didn't let Trevor know. And I just say this because, like, I mean, that's just a small issue of, I'm not gonna dibble dabble at what goes on, all that stuff, but that's just, I mean, he's my best friend. That bothered him, like, and he just, yeah, I mean, I said my piece with that, but man, and, like, I mean, I got a coach's award from Coach. Like, this is just like a good teammate that I won from him. I said thank you after every meal, regardless if I'm Division 3 or if I'm D-10. Like, like, that's, I don't know, to be on a college basketball team anywhere, it doesn't even matter what school you go to. You could still go overseas or do what you want to do. If all that matters, I mean, you have fun and, like, you get to play. Like Ben, for example. Ben's an example. He went to Brockport, and there was a school that was recruiting me, and they didn't get back to my trainer. Like, my trainer was helping me, because my trainer's like a legend at that school. They haven't gotten back to him, and, like, I'm going somewhere else, doesn't matter, but I'm just bringing up this example. Like, how do I not know, or how do I know or not know somebody could have ran their mouth about me? Like, and that's what I mean. I have to ask myself that because I'm black. White people, Alice Kendrick signed a letter saying Coach McKinney he had talked down at my name to coaches, like, he got me blacklisted. Who knows who else was there? But, like, you see that something happened. They didn't get back to him. So I'm just left to believe that. Like, I just have to. And that's why, I mean, I want my name cleared. Like, just want Plattsburgh to be a home that I leave at. Growing up, college basketball, that's what I want. And D'Angelo Harrison, he told me over Instagram to just, when I had posted my story with my dad, on Insta, he had just told me to just use it as motivation, strive for greatness. And that's what I'm definitely gonna do. But yeah, I just want my name cleared. Like, I mean, you can imagine how much things I have inside here. Like to end I mean, in my book that I have, that I carry everywhere, um, just got a whole bunch of pictures. I have a half sister, but I held her when she was like not even one. But if she sees this, whenever you're ready to talk, then my brother and I, we can share memories of him. I think that's what I can do, because, I mean, that little girl to grow up without her father, George Floyd. You see how we all go through different things. That's crazy, and it's awful. But it just all needs to stop. All needs to stop. And I mean, there's other things like that I can share that I know, but like this is just my side of the story, just on everything. And if it can help anybody during this time, if it could help one person, because when we say rebuilding the world, then this is what definitely needed to be done. Because I mean, it's been 5 years. Like, I haven't gotten to play think about the one thing you love most in the world. To not be able to play that or do that thing for 5 years. I mean, my dad left me kind of basketball. Like, I tried, and I even tried to leave that sophomore year, and it brought me back right to it. Right to it. That's crazy. And like, I guess one last thing, I guess, for people to know about me, like, when you see my highlight tape, or if you've seen it, I'm not trying to show you that I'm gonna score, 50 points, or that I want to score 50 points. That's not what the highlight tape was for. The highlight tape was for coaches, as I was saying in the video, to see what I play like, because I didn't have that much film from Cuco. I had a little bit, but not that much. But the one thing, like, my best thing is defense. I guess, I mean, that's, if you were to ask people, that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth, because they're not going to tell you I can shoot. But I can shoot now. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely probably more stuff that I haven't said that probably could be said in here, but that's just, I think, what people need to know for right now. And and if people have questions, I'll be open to answering them. This is to help people, like, honestly, because going to sleep at night, you think I can go to, like, I'm in my master's program right now. I physically can't sit down and sit still, because, like, what's next is schools, like, and, like, the communities. Like, personally, I don't want any of your kids to go through this, because nobody stood up. Nobody stood up for me. And I'm not saying I'm mad. I'm not saying that. It's just like, you have to, if people show you who they are, like, they were, like, to be honest, everybody was worried about coming out of there going D1 and all that. So yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.